High five from Chiago. Peter, you're back up, our German friend here. He's an ambassador of the German community for ICT. How's it going, Peter?
Thank you for the introduction. I'm fine. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. You tap? How are you going to tap in today, bro?
Yeah, I got a little bit inspired by Pippi's question. So I was basically trying to shoot my shot towards ICT because I have one question since May.
Yeah! Shoot your shot, Peter.
Okay, great. So Michael, I don't know if you can remember back in May 2025, you were here with a kid on a space which was called Something New Under the Sun. It was actually on May 10th. Um, and it was two streams, one normal trader roundup and this specific X space, Something New Under the Sun. And you gave us an homework to focus within the opening range, specifically on the 15-second chart or on the 30-second chart. You can see it on the 50-second, but sometimes you can see it on the 30-second chart. We should wait until 11, then after 11, drop into the 15-second chart and observe the opening range and look for relative equal highs, relative equal lows, and exactly when they got run. And you mentioned that there's a special signature which you can observe. You weren't telling us the specific signature. We should look for it. So I've looked for it in my homework, and I was just wanted to ask you: is it the case that the opening range, how it is developed, the first 30 minutes, that it is that it follows a specific step-by-step procedure how the opening range is built up? So the relative equal highs, when they got purged, and so on. Is it a repeatable process how the opening range is formed? Maybe I'm on something there, maybe not. So this is my question.
That's not what
Hopefully,
I was referring to, but I'm not going to discourage you. If you think you're onto something, what you're describing is not what I was inferring. But
okay,
whatever you find, it sounds interesting what you're pursuing, but that's not what I was alluding to.
okay. That's good to hear. Could you shed a little bit more light into which direction you wanted to point us so I can follow that as well?
Some things I lay down for, like I have charter students that are really, really into it. Like they're really into it. And sometimes they get real close to it. Other times they go farther, farther away. I have a few of them that are real close to it, and I don't want to divulge it because if they get it, it'll be a monumental experience for them, so they can say I saw it, I was prompted, I figured it out, not just hear it from a Twitter space like this.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much, Michael.
So some things are better left unsaid within the discovery of your own within the chart. And Peter, I will say quickly onto your point, and I've brought it up through Trader Roundup and mentioned it here as well. But that I don't know what the quote unquote process is, but I definitely love finding on the 15-second chart somewhere in the overnight session relative equals around macro times. And then I'm looking to see what Michael has described is where and how 930 is going to attack those relative equals. So we're coming to and looking at and creating those specific buy side and sell side minor objectives coming out of the RTH around the macros. And we're looking to see where and how New York is going to attack that liquidity, right? Like he has mentioned those things and we have talked about those within Trader Roundup. So I want you to feel comfortable. I know if you're doing that, then you're following the assignment, Peter, like for sure. And I don't think anyone's going to be like, no, that's not it. But you're applying the liquidity paradigm and what Michael has taught in the way of logic. And then you've got your own little spin or twist to it. Sounds like.
Yes, that's true. But I'm always curious to get the best out of it. I'm very much into the details, so I was super curious when Michael mentioned it first time, and I was just like diving into the charts,
I
getting the
love that you
signs
brought
hidden.
that up. I remember that conversation. That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
hope it doesn't, put a lot of people off or put you off when I say what I said. Uh, Largely, I go into great detail about most things I've been teaching, but as someone that's had a unique opportunity to come to this information, I kind of like create these little test tube scenarios. I give just enough of a hint, and I want to see if others can pursue the same thing that I did finding it. And there's been a few things that people have, they get real close to it, and then they just start to move away, or they throw in the towel, they don't want to pursue it anymore. It's just, for me, it's like an extra credit type thing. You don't need it. It doesn't make the algorithm better. It doesn't make you better as a trader. It's just one more thing you can utilize. And for me as a teacher, I try to produce the test tube environment for those types of anomalies to present themselves, and to see if it can be replicated in someone else if given them just enough of a hint, like I felt I had at the time, and then see if they see it like I saw it. So it's not imperative that everybody knows it. And some people will obviously take it out of context, say, well, he's an asshole because he won't teach it, and that's the secret to Enigma, and that's the IMP 24, and they'll come up with all these bullshit things to try to shovel dirt in my face. And it's not that at all. It's just I'm engaging with my students in a pursuit for them, and it's not imperative that you figure it out, but it's something there that would be a reward for those that do.
Absolutely, man. I don't
So
perceive it any way disencouraging or so on. I'm very grateful that you even create those little test tube scenarios, and I'm like a super, let's say, curious guy, and I get really motivated if you lay out these little breadcrumbs and try to figure it out. So please do it again. Happy
Well,
to give
I'll
more.
just say this, go back to the live stream today. He literally referenced a rabbit hole. And we as students can fall into these, but when your mentor can give you specific kind of guideposts and directions towards things that you will then eventually discover on your own, then that is a very, very empowering thing that you discover. And your mentor can, again, he wants to guide you and point you in the right direction, but where and how you're really going to make it your own, it's not coming to Trader Roundup it and hearing someone else's proclaimed discovery of fill in the blank, whatever it is, rabbit hole. It's you delving into the topic and you finding it yourself. So what Michael's done is, I mean, the idea of Easter eggs, if you followed his content for as long as I have, you're rewarded for the more time and energy that you put in to this education. So the quote unquote rabbit hole, the quote unquote Easter egg is very, very real for how much you invest into yourself, into the charts. And then it's going to be belief, and then, believe it or not, intuition. It's going to be intuition.